Welcome back to WRITE101x. Now we're going to look at paragraphs and some of the ways that you can make your writing better by understanding how they work. Paragraphs are the blocks from which any piece of writing is built. A paragraph usually comprises a series of sentences, all relating to a main idea or topic. More than anything else, a good paragraph is a unified paragraph, structured so that all of its parts share the same focus, tone, and point of view. Winston Churchill captured this concept when he said, "Just as the sentence contains one idea in all its fullness, so the paragraph should embrace a distinct episode. And as sentences should follow one another in harmonious sequence, so paragraphs must fit onto one another like the automatic couplings of railway carriages." Churchill was an accomplished writer. Here he emphasises the logical sequence that good paragraphs, and indeed all effective writing, should take. A sentence expresses an idea. A paragraph does the same using several sentences, and a piece of writing does so too using several paragraphs. Paragraphs must be well planned and well structured. Most expository or analytical paragraphs begin with a topic sentence. This sentence states the central idea, claim, or problem that controls or guides the rest of the paragraph. In other words, it tells the reader what to expect. The topic sentence is followed by the body of the paragraph. The body develops or discusses what the topic sentence has stated. These sentences justify the main idea, providing evidence to support or explain that idea in greater detail. This is where you, as the writer, might include data, such as facts or statistics, testimonies, anecdotes, or descriptions. In the body of a paragraph, you can describe, examine, and analyse. The conclusion of a paragraph summarises what you have covered in the body of the paragraph, again in relation to the topic sentence. Good conclusions often also link to the next paragraph. This formula is by no means set in stone and is generally applied to paragraphs in technical or academic writing, which argue, claim, and analyse. Other forms of writing, for example, letters, narration, or prose, do not necessarily require conclusions, evidence, or even explicitly stated topic sentences. The most important things to remember are that a paragraph should be unified, coherent, and adequately developed. I mean that a paragraph should stick to one idea or purpose, follow a logical sequence, and discuss the main idea fully and adequately. Fowler stated that the paragraph is essentially a unit of thought, not of length. It must be homogeneous in subject matter and sequential in treatment. Some students learn that a paragraph must contain a certain number of sentences, but this is not a genuine or helpful rule. A paragraph should be as long as it needs to be. So, the length of a paragraph depends on its purpose. A complex idea might need a long paragraph to properly develop it, whereas a summary or a minor point of interest might need only a couple of short sentences. In some styles of writing, such as newspaper writing, a paragraph might even consist of one sentence on its own, but it will be a sentence that tries to answer the 5 W's and an H: who, what, why, when, where, and how. When considering how long a paragraph should be, think of your reader. A solid page of text is unattractive and overwhelming. Just as you may need to break up a long sentence to prevent overreading, you may have to break up a paragraph so that the page will not seem overcrowded. Paragraph breaks give your reader time to pause. Remember that paragraphs are not like pictures. Your audience can't see what's there all at once. They'll see what you're saying as they read. For this reason, you should carefully organise what you are going to say and consider the best sequence in which to convey it. For example, perhaps your argument could be neatly summarised in 5 points. In this case, arrange those points so that they logically and clearly flow from one to the other. Use your topic sentence to let your reader know in brief what you are going to say. This will make it easier for them to organise their thoughts as they read. It's helpful to give information first in broad terms and to become more specific and offer greater detail as you move through the paragraph. There are no fixed rules about how to order information in paragraphs. Any order that you choose will work, as long as what you have written is clear, relevant, and relates to both your topic and your reader. Without cohesion, a paragraph is just a list of sentences. Cohesion means that everything sticks together. While each sentence may be good in its own right, forming sentences into an effective paragraph means binding the sentences together. Cohesion is achieved through deliberate and effective punctuation, word choice, and sentence structure, using connecting words, relative pronouns, and repetition. Within a paragraph, when you are amplifying, elaborating, or reinforcing your message, you can use examples, cases, and lists. You will need to use transitional expressions to move between the various parts. Here are some examples of transitional expressions. They can contrast or qualify, continue, show cause and effect, exemplify, or summarise. It would be helpful to keep the list of cohesive ties and the list of potential transitional expressions close by when you are writing. Try to find examples of cohesive and coherent paragraphs to guide your own writing. Following this lecture, we'll ask you to read our example of a cohesive, coherent paragraph on plain language and identify as many cohesive ties, the words that act as glue, as you can. Thanks for listening. Join Rosalind Petellin next week for the final lectures in this course, which are about punctuation.